Arsenal 4, Spurs 1. And that one is such an annoying goal that we could have conceded. And I don't like the fact that I've seen that goal conceded by this Arteta team way too many times. I felt like the third time we've conceded that kind of goal. This shit that Arteta asks our goalkeeper to do that essentially makes him want to be way more involved than he needs to be. Hey, see, listen, I guess no risk, no reward. So if this is the risk of how Raya plays, fair enough, man. That's gonna happen once a year? Ugh. Why do these fine margins always find a way of fucking us, man? But it's fine. It is what it is. We go ahead. The game itself, aside from all of that, they offered nothing. Spurs had nothing. And if I'm to be fair, yeah, see, listen, all the magical players, yeah, that Spurs are using to have. I know Javi Simons was bought in, which is why Javi Simons was bought in to be a replacement for the Magic, to be someone to supply the Magic. But he's just saying cutting it yet. You know, we have to give Eze time to cook, and now Eze is here. Eze is finna cook. But point is, all Spurs' magical players, Kulusevski, Madison, I guess Dominic Solanke, bro, they're all injured. So, but hey, this is the name of the game. This is the name of the game. You just have to keep it pushing and just hope that your squad is good enough to do the thing. This is 2025. I thought no one's giving any allowances for absent players because it's a squad game. You're supposed to have signed good enough players that the absence of one man, two man, three man shouldn't mean the end of your ability to do anything. And speaking of which, Spurs are so bad that the only way they were able to progress the ball, these men were getting fouls in their own box and turning that to set piece opportunities because that's the only way they could progress the ball. That was incredible. That was shambolic. And to think that Spurs fans have the gall. I see Spurs fans online also following people to talk about how Arsenal's ruining football, Arsenal's playing haram ball. I'm like, what? How dare you? What in the lack of self-awareness, fam? How can you just lack self-awareness this much that you don't realize that this is your team? How are you taking a set piece from your own half? That just means you didn't even come to this game to play. You didn't come to this game to play anything. So your point in this game was just to try and nick a set piece, and that's why you scored that kind of lucky goal. That's like how? If you check the XG of that goal, it's probably so freaking low. And David Raya, anyway, see, on to the main man. Man like Eberechi Eze, bro. He's here. He's landed. Let it all work out, people. There's too many dope celebrations from this to this. Listen, it's just too many, bro. To be fair, I hoped Clefiori would score. I thought Gyökeres would play. I was so wrong. I was so wrong. This is why I don't bet. This is why I don't do sports betting, bro. I don't know what is wrong with my radar. I don't know why I just can't predict the right things, man. I'm just here to just hope. All I can predict is that we're going to win. Why? Because we're the Arsenal. We're just so good at football. We're actually just so good at football, bro. I don't like that goal we conceded, but it's fine. It's fine. We've got how many more games? I think we've got like 26 more games to concede less than 9 goals to catch up with that Chelsea record. And fair enough, man, because speaking of Chelsea, we're playing Chelsea next week. And it's a case where, hey, man, these few games, right, playing Bayern Munich and Chelsea, this is what will give me an insight to what the season can look like. Do you get what I'm saying? In terms of getting to a point where we understand that, yes, there's literally nobody that is better than us in this league. Because all that's left in terms of people that could be better than us is Chelsea. Just as a way to stamp it. We already know they're not. Just as a way to prove it to the players so that they can understand who we are. In fact, they do. This is the thing. Building up to this game, I had no doubts in my mind that we were up to it. The Sunderland thing was just a blip. The Sunderland thing was just a blip in the system. It wasn't meant to happen. It wasn't meant to happen. And if you tell me, yeah, and I'm going to do this, Gabriel, there have been some things with Gabriel defensively, but the fact that he's been so excellent attacking wise has made up for it. So if you're telling me that, all right, cool, no Gabriel, meaning no more reliance on set pieces, that's fine. You use set pieces as a crutch to get you through when you're not so up to it. But now the team is up to it. Eze is fully here. Eze is flowing. Eze, I'm so curious to see how Arteta is going to manage all this talent. Talking about Eze and Odegaard, how they're going to play together, bro. Because Eze just seems like this is really his game. He's really just about to be playing so many shots. Eze is about to be doing so much volume in terms of shots that it's about to be a madness, bro. Eze is gonna get so many goals in this team, man. And guess what? If Gyökeres is there for the rebounds, Gyökeres is also gonna chow. He's also gonna eat. Gyökeres is also gonna eat in this team. So many people are gonna eat, and the reliance on Saka is gonna reduce. This is what I'm saying. I love that our team is no longer reliant on any one or two or three players. Everybody is great. Alright, Saka injury, no problem. Saka, you need to rest, no problem. Gyökeres rest, Havertz rest, Eze rest, anybody rest, everybody can rest, and then that will even lead to reduction in injuries, bro. And we're gonna be the best, bro. This is why I believe it is not too out of position. Because this is why Arsenal fans here, quietly and factually and evidently, there's thoughts of clean sweeps for us. Do you know why? Because what is the reason why it is impossible for you? What makes it hard to do clean sweeps? You can't sustain the intensity for that long. Why? Because the quality players that you have, the comparison between your first team and your second team, the drop off is too much. Yeah? But when you have a team like Arsenal where the drop off between the first and the second team is non-existent, as in the difference between seeing Odegaard and Eze does not exist. And defensively as well, there's no difference. There's no difference in the defensiveness. In the defense, there's no difference in quality of all the players, which means we're no longer beholden to Saliba, bro. Mosquera can deputize for Saliba, and Hincapié is showing us that he can deputize for Gabriel in such a way that it's not even a deputization situation. It's literally me or you. But obviously, man was here first, so man gets dibs first. But you get my point. Like, this is just reservation. And this is the beauty of the game, bro. When you win, your emotions are so high in a positive way. And when you lose or when you draw, essentially when you just get what you don't want, your emotions now get low, and your ginger and then your faith and your conviction now starts to shake. But either way, the way I feel is that, listen, it's going to be a long season. And we are well equipped because the drop-off is non-existent. The drop-off between Merino and Havertz, the drop-off between Havertz and Gyökeres, I can't see it, bro. And drop-off between Trossard and Martinelli, bro. Trossard is actually on fire this season. I don't understand what is inside Trossard, but that pay rise must have done something good to him. But the thing is, Trossard has always been so good. He's just, for some reason, this is what I was talking to someone about, yeah, is the difference between Hazard and Neymar. That's the difference between Yamal and Saka and Trossard and do you understand what I'm saying? Guys that look like Hazard, Saka, Trossard, when they're just short, you don't attribute, I don't know what it is about them that you don't attribute, like, it's hard for you to acknowledge how skillful they are. Because Saka be steady dribbling, man. But it just doesn't feel that way compared to how Yamal does it, compared to how Mahrez does it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is it the fact that their legs are lanky and their legs are slim that just makes it look more aesthetic? Either way, point is, that's the same way you would imagine that Madueke is a lot more aesthetically pleasing to look at than Saka. This is the point. So it just is what it is. The bias of your build. It's called build bias. This is what I call it. Build bias. But that aside, it was a great game. Mikel Arteta just continues. This is why Declan Rice said, don't judge him now, judge him in the end. And what's the end? The end of this season. The end of this season is going to show us and prove to us and vindicate everyone that's been a loyal Arteta fan, bro. I was listening to Eze talk about some stuff on Akin Fewa's podcast, talking about Arteta does what it takes and he knows what it takes, and that resonated with me. And that made me go get my ass in my chair to go continue building the things I'm trying to build. In a way where you cannot expect to get what it gives if you're not willing to give it what it takes. You have to give it what it takes for you to get what it gives. And if this is the kind of manager that I have, then yeah, this is the mission. That is the name of the game. Give it what it takes so you can get what it gives. But anyway, man of the match, obviously, Eze. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Come on, I think Bayern Munich is next, and we're going to wipe them as well and establish ourselves that, further establish ourselves. Anyway, cheers, guys.